Welcome back, everyone, to another episode of Enjoy Life. It's been a little minute. It's been 2 weeks. We're just doing a little solo today, kind of reset and also just kind of talk about what's been going on in this hectic thing that we call life. First off, I want to say I hope y'all had a great day today. I hope y'all are having a great week, staying productive. And I'm just going to kind of talk about what's been going on this recently, since we haven't had any episodes out. First off, I hope everyone had a good Easter break. Well, not everyone has a break for Easter, I'm sorry, but kind of spent my spring break low-key. I stayed at the house, worked on podcast stuff, worked on my schoolwork that I have, and just kind of chilled. It's kind of crazy because like 2 or 3 years ago, we'd be headed for spring break right after Easter, and now it's just kind of low-key. Which, I think when I kind of reflected on it, that just kind of shows how much growing up and, becoming more into the working world and doing all those things. And so, just kind of moving on with the podcast itself. Just wanted to announce something. I haven't shared it. It's probably been a thing now for about a month, but I didn't share it in my last episode with the Cajun Ninja. But recently I made the podcast an LLC. Insert clapping. I felt like it was a big step. It was something I've always thought about. And someone else, I'm going to shout out Grant O Show, y'all go check it out. He actually told me that he made his podcast in LLC when I went on his pod, and he kind of told me like the steps I guess you got to take to do or how to go about it. So another shout out I want to do is to the BRI downtown, Bayou Regional Incubator. The people there are amazing. The guy who helped me set up all the business stuff, amazing guy. He literally walked me through everything, kind of explained everything, because right when I walked in, I was honest with him. I was like, look, man, no one in my family's really owned their own business, and that's not a diss or anything, but it's just the truth. And so I knew nothing about it. I'm not a business major either, so when he started talking about some things, I'm like, yo, you gotta slow down a little bit, explain this to me so I can kind of understand. It was very mind-blowing, so I was grateful for the opportunity for him to kind of sit there with me. I stayed for 2 hours, and just to go over everything, I was really appreciative. They're amazing people out there. If anyone who goes to Nichols even thinking about starting a business or just kind of wants to be a member over there, y'all please go check it out, because it's right in the heart of downtown. I never really knew that was even a thing prior, so I'm truly blessed for that. I'm excited. And the reason really why I did it, as far as advertisement and stuff, I want to have sponsors for the podcast. So if you're interested in sponsoring the pod and you're watching this video, please hit me up, whether it's on Instagram, Facebook, just DM on the pod, and we can talk numbers, we can talk whatever y'all want to do. I'm definitely interested. But it was something I was really excited about. It's just, it meant a lot to me that I make it an LLC, so I'm very proud of that, and I'm kind of looking forward to see where that goes, And then moving on from there, I recently just got my site for my practicum and internship for grad school, which is, I know it doesn't really sound like much, but that's really a big deal. I'm super excited for that, and just that in general, I think is crazy because I started grad school and kind of started the podcast the same. Like, I started the podcast in May, and I started grad school that August. So it's kind of been a journey together, like seeing the two move, and, you know, having that practicum and internship, that's when, like, I guess you can say stuff starts to get real, and we're kind of getting to the closing time of grad school, which is crazy to say. This 2.5 years are going by quick. Another year left, spring of 27, looking forward to that graduation date. But yeah, I guess it's just showing that I'm one step closer to being into the real world and finally starting counseling. Like, this is something I've been wanting to do since I was a junior in high school. So to be a step closer to getting to that big goal, that really means a lot to me. And in terms of the podcast itself, you know, to some eyes, it might seem like things have kind of been slow just because, you know, I haven't posted in 2 weeks. The last episode I did was with the Cajun Ninja. Shout him out because that was an awesome episode. I enjoyed sitting down with him and talking about cooking. And no, I have not tried cooking yet. Still beating around the bush, but we'll get there. But I kind of thought about it, and right now the position I'm in with the podcast, I was a little bit behind on filming, obviously. Things kind of got really busy, and so now it's in a stage where I have a bunch of guests like ready to go, but we're in that process of finding a date to film, or we have a date to film, but, you know, we're waiting for that date to come. And so for that reason, you know, I haven't put out any episodes. And honestly, I really needed a break during spring break. I really just wanted to unwind and kind of step back, because school can get so hectic at times. It gets really overwhelming. And so, you know, from the outsider's eyes, it's like, damn, like, he might have gave up on this. But in reality, you know, my messages, even if you're not seeing things happen, you know, behind the scenes, there's still stuff going on. And I think it's really all about getting those daily wins and, you know, consistently getting better every day, whether it's 1%. And that might sound pretty cheesy, but it's the truth. Even though I haven't had an episode out during spring break, I made sure at least every day I would reach out to one person talking about the pod. Let's set something up. So I am proud of myself in that sense, that I still maintain to make sure, like, I can have all my stuff set up, all of that good stuff. But it's just at the point now where I'm waiting to meet with those people to film those episodes. That way I can get them out to everyone. And I'm excited. And another thing I've kind of been debating, which it really came into my mind once I found out that I had my practicum and internship set up, is things might start to get a little even more hectic, because where I'm doing it at, it's not in Thibodeau, so it's going to be a lot of driving. During the summer, it shouldn't be an issue because I only have to go one day out of the week due to, like, the hours that we have to get during the summer. But during the fall and the spring, this upcoming, like, fall of 2026, spring of 2027, I'm probably going to have to go like 3 or 4 days out of the week, which can start to get a little bit more hectic. So I was just reflecting about the podcast and everything, because it's not like I just want to drop the podcast and not do it. This is truly something I love. I genuinely enjoy doing this. I mean, obviously, most people wouldn't sit in front of a camera by themselves just to do this episode. I felt like I had to get something out for all the viewers. But it was just something I was thinking about, and I think once we get to that point, because I'm not going to sit here and get so anxious about what am I going to do then, because we're not there yet. I'm focused on tomorrow. I'm focused on what I'm doing right now today. But just to kind of think about it and planning ahead and preparing, I think once we get to that point, I might do an episode maybe every other week or every 2 weeks. Is that the same thing? I don't know. I might have just had a moment right there. But I think weekly episodes might be a little tough when I'm in that position. And since I really don't want to quit, I don't want to just drop this, it'd be a lot beneficial for me to get better episodes and better stuff if I cut back and do every other week or so. And I think that's kind of like the conclusion I came to. Because in the same breath, this is kind of going back to the grad school thing. My stance is, I'm finally starting to get into the world of my profession. And with that, I really want to shift my focus towards that. Even when grad school started, priority number one was grad school and then the podcast. It's just facts. But now that I'm actually going to start working with people, I want to make sure that a lot of my focus is on that. So even if that means that this is going on the back burner a little bit, so I can focus with that. And I think that's very understanding. I think you as viewers can understand that. So when that time comes, we'll worry about that, but we're worried about the now and what we're doing right now. And so I just wanted to let you guys know that I do have guests planned. Like, there's so much planning that goes on behind the scenes, and I think that's another downfall of just having me, because I gotta edit, I gotta make sure everything's posted on all the social media, the clips, I gotta find the guest, I gotta schedule with the guests, all those things. And I'm not saying that as like, oh, I'm this self-made guy or any of that. I don't mean that at all. It's just I'm saying that because it's a lot to do when I have other responsibilities. And it's not an excuse or anything. I'm just being honest. We all struggle with stuff. It's completely normal. But I also wanted to talk about the kind of guests that I have lined up, just to give y'all an idea of what I'll be doing, what you can expect within the next couple weeks or so. I have one planned with my local priest. For some of y'all day one viewers, one of the first, like probably in the 20s, I'd say, episodes that I did, I had Father JD on. Father JD is an awesome guy, if y'all know him. That was probably one of my favorite episodes. So I go to church in Track Bay, and our priest there is Father Bryce. I've known him since I went to E.D. White, so I don't even think he was a priest when I was at E.D. White, which is crazy. He was still in that process, which blows my mind that it takes that long. I mean, it doesn't really surprise me because, I'm sure there's a lot to learn, but it also does because that's a long time just to become a priest. But I'll be having him on. I think we're filming sometime in late April, so I'll have him on. Also, this is the one that I'm really excited for. For those living in Thibodaux or around the Thibodaux area, there is a new ice cream shop opening. It's called a Patty Cakes Parlor. I think they'll be open in about 2 or 3 weeks. But I'm having the owner on, and I'm super excited for that. I'm a big ice cream enthusiast, preferably cookie dough ice cream, but I can really rock with any flavor if it sounds good to me. But I actually stopped by there yesterday because I had DM'd them a while ago, and I wanted to go in person and just kind of introduce myself. And so I went talk with them yesterday, and we exchanged phone numbers, so we're kind of in that process of figuring out a date when to film. I'm kind of hoping that we can get it done like maybe right before their grand opening, just to get more people out of it. And we didn't talk about this yesterday, but one thing I'd really like to do is to do another giveaway, and whether it's a gift card or something, if they have that set up, you know, just I think that'd be a cool thing to do. That'd be a cool thing to do, to share. Like, I feel like it can get more views to share them, get them more business. That's the one I'm really excited about. And also, when I was there, shout out to the lady, she let me get a free sample. They only had 4 flavors, like right then and there. Like I said, they're not open, but I went with like, I think she said it was called cookie butter. If y'all follow me on Instagram, I posted a picture of it. Guys, it was amazing. I'm not even trying to gaslight or glaze, you know, as everyone says nowadays. It was really good. I enjoyed it a lot. It kind of reminded me, and some people might have a hot take over this, but this is for homo people, I guess. I'm not a big Scarlet Scoop guy, which is very controversial. I'll eat it, but to me, if I'm getting ice cream in Homa, I'd go to Baskin Robbins, because I'm a big Baskin Robbins fan. I think their ice cream, like just the way they make it, it tastes amazing. And I heard that Scarlet Scoop's really just Bluebell, so like, why is everyone hyping that up? I don't understand that. No diss. But the ice cream at the patty cake place kind of reminded me of that. And I mean, they make all their ice cream too, which I think is pretty cool. And that is the one that like I'm really excited to open in general. And Thibodeau is just doing good in general too. If y'all are watching this, yesterday was the grand opening of Freddy's. I did go try it because I was like, I have to, but the number one worst thing about Thibodeau is that when a new place opens, you are not touching that place for like at least a week. Because, I mean, it is just jam-packed. Everyone goes to try it. I wish I could have had a picture of the line. The drive-thru was wrapped around the drive-thru and then literally like on the street. It was insane line. If you're smart, you go inside. Like, it's so much quicker. And I think I read under the comments, because someone posted on Facebook about Freddy's, someone said they waited like almost, I think, 2.5 hours in the drive-thru. Y'all, that is insane. 2.5 hours to get fast food in a drive-thru. I think that just shows how busy they are and how much, like, when Thibodeau gets a new spot, like, it's on go. Like, you really can't go definitely not the first day, maybe later on in the week. But I caught it at a good time. It was around 2 o'clock. So, you know, the lunch rush is over. People are back at work. And it's not 3 o'clock yet, so all the high schoolers and stuff are still in school. So it was a good opportunity to go try it. Never had Freddy's before, and I didn't get the custard. I know they're known for their custard, but I had just went try the ice cream place at the patty cake parlor. So I didn't want to double down and get custard, but the burger and fries, it was good. I think it's, in terms of rankings, I would say it's better than McDonald's burger, Burger King, Wendy's, like any of those. I would say it beats. The ones I would put on top of it would have to be Whataburger, Five Guys, Shake Shack. So it's somewhere in like that middle range. I will say the fries though, top tier. I'm a big shoestring guy, and so having those fries, like, that was fire. That was probably my favorite about it. So if you're in Thibodeau, go check out Freddy's, please. That's another guest I would love to get on the podcast, their owner, if we can somehow make that work. But circling back to like the guests that I have, another one that is in the process, we're still trying to figure out a day to film, is the owner of the Thibodeau Chick-fil-A. Quick side story, I am a big Chick-fil-A enthusiast. Like, it's probably my favorite fast food place in Thibodeau. it's just so, I'm not gonna say it's versatile because they only sell like chicken, but there's so many things that I can get personally. Like if I'm feeling the sandwich, I'll get the sandwich. Sometimes I'll just get the nuggets, but one big thing I like to do is get the nuggets and cut them up and put them in a salad. It's so good. And I know some people are thinking, why don't you just get the salad there? But I have my own thing that I like to make, so don't hate. But I feel like that would be a great episode because I think it's just cool to figure out how people even own a Chick-fil-A. Like, what is the process behind owning a Chick-fil-A? And I've read some things about it. Like, I think it's very different from like owning your own McDonald's or owning your own Wendy's. Like, I know one rule for sure, and I'm almost like 99% positive, is that you can only own one Chick-fil-A. Like compared to, let's say like a McDonald's, I'm pretty sure like I can own like 3 McDonald's, but you can only have one Chick-fil-A. And I think just like the service, everything there, like it's top tier. Like the people are always so nice. And so just to have the opportunity to sit down with her and talk about how she even got into that is very fascinating to me. And I hope maybe y'all will enjoy that episode as well. And kind of the other episodes I really don't want to share with y'all yet. That's kind of the 3 that I felt comfortable with sharing. But yeah, like I went back to say earlier, I'm working on filming and figuring out stuff. And I know from the outsider's perspective, it might seem like I haven't been doing much, but there's a lot that goes on behind the scenes. And so I am still taking those steps. You know, we're moving forward, but it's just, you know, you got to give me a little bit of grace. But that's why I really wanted to come and do a solo episode, just to kind of share how things have been going and give a good little life update. And just to kind of share, you know, it's okay to reset. It's okay to step back as long as you're putting one foot in front of the other and getting better every day. I think that is the number one key. And I told myself, like, during the break, like, even if I'm not filming, I gotta at least do one thing that day to improve on the podcast. And that's, in my eyes, reaching out to people and saying, hey, I'm interested on having you in the podcast. Anything productive that wise. And this is just a little tangent. During the break, I've kind of started to realize, and someone at work also said this, so it made me even think about it again, is the addiction to the phones. Like during my break, I felt like I was on my phone so much. Like I went and look at the screen time. I'm not even gonna share because I'm too embarrassed. And like, obviously I needed my phone to reach out to people, but if I'm being honest with everyone, like that isn't the reason my screen time wasn't that high. Like I've been finding myself like in a constant scroll state, which is not healthy. I will be the first to admit. It's just like so weird in today's society how everyone is on their phone. And I even saw this picture. It was a guy, he was like taking photos of like people outside, you know, just living their day-to-day lives, you know, sitting on a bus or sitting inside, wherever. But the point of it was everyone was on their phone, but what he did was he did it to where like the phone isn't there. And so it's just people sitting like this with nothing in their hands. And I think it just kind of shows how like disconnected we can be sometimes. Like there's so many people to talk to and have genuine conversations with when we're out, and sometimes we're just glued to our phones. And even when we're not, like I definitely could have even done more for the podcast if I wasn't so stuck on my phone. And it's so, the reason why I share that is that's one thing I definitely want to work on, is not being on my phone so much, because it can get too much at times, like the screen time, and you just really need a break. Another thing I've been doing is trying to read. I just got this book. Obviously, y'all know this. It's The Dune. I've never seen any of the Dune movies, but someone told me that I'd probably like them based off of, like, the genres that I like. And so I decided before I get to, reading the book, not reading the book, excuse me, before I watch Dune 1 and Dune 2, third one's coming out later on in the fall next year, I think, I'd like to read the book. And so I just started that, and I'm pretty excited. But just to do those little things to try and disconnect, because the phone is just getting too much. It's so much, causes so much anxiety. Like, I really just kind of want to step back from that. But anyways, just to kind of go in closing, I didn't want to make this episode too long. Really just wanted to catch up with everyone and share how things have been going. Share the good news about the business. Enjoy Life Podcast, LLC. Once again, if you're interested in sponsoring the podcast, comment down below or hit us up on Instagram, Facebook, etc. Would love to talk. And just thank you guys, all the viewers, for sticking with me. Even if I haven't posted in the last 2 weeks, I appreciate each and every one of y'all. My special shout out, I think this is something I've been wanting to talk about, is at the end of the episodes, I kind of want to give a special shout out to a viewer. My first special shout out goes to Hudson Chasson. Great guy. We've been going to school together, but he deeply supports the podcast. Every time I post an episode, he posts on Instagram and shares the link for people to watch. He's always watching every episode, so I know he's watching this and he's probably caught off guard. So my special shout out goes to Hudson. Thank you so much for showing so much support for the podcast. That means the world to me. And actually, since we've been off, I want to do another special shout out. I don't know this person's name, but when I was proctoring a test the other week before spring break, someone came up to me when they turned in their test and said, "I love your podcast, I've been watching." And that meant the absolute world to me. So I don't know if you're watching this episode specifically, but that really did mean a lot to me. Those little moments like that is, like I've said this plenty of times before, it's gas in the tank to keep me going and to keep doing this. It truly is proof in the pudding that people enjoy this, and I'm greatly appreciative for that. But we're going to wrap this episode up. I don't want to keep it too long, like I said. I hope y'all have a great day or night or whatever it is that you're watching at this hour, and just keep on enjoying life. We're out.